trying for another day. So. No, yep. Yeah. What are you talking about? Are you serious?
But it sounds like.
Now for context, Joe was in charge of this part of the rocket and me and my team were in charge of all of this. And while we'd each tested our individual systems ad nauseum, it wasn't until that morning that we were able to test the integration of the two systems together. And when we did, it became immediately clear to me I had made a critical oversight.
So, tension compression, this is great. It's holding on to that thing fantastically. The problem is, this is so long and heavy, as soon as it wiggles, it's going to want to bend. Great in tension compression, but this happening at Mach 2 is...
That's not gonna work out.
There's no other balloons in the world of this size that we can get access to. This was the only one for like another month. We're trying to save this one so we could hopefully reuse it, but any slight little damage, you touch it in the wrong spot, and now that's an imperfection that may actually be a failure point for a future mission.
And this was an absolute low point for me. The integration of two independent systems is such a classic failure point in engineering. I was crushed I had missed this. And financial concerns aside, I felt like I had just let everyone down. Not just my team and the rest of the crew helping out, but all the other folks, some of whom drove 6 hours to come out and watch as well. But that's the thing with failures. They can sting like crazy, but it's really just a process to learn one more way not to do a thing. And so even as I sat there feeling pretty bad, like any good engineer, I was already coming up with a list of all the things we were going to fix to get back out here and try this dang thing one more time. And this principle of resiliency is something I think can be learned. In fact, I believe this so much, I started a toy company called Crunch Labs with the express goal of helping kids think like an engineer. So with the Build Box, not only do you get a super fun toy that you put together every month, but you do it alongside me while I teach you all the juicy physics of how it works. We're right there in the trenches, building and succeeding together so the principles really sink in. So if you're a kid and you're looking for something to put at the top of your Christmas wish list, or you want to gift it to someone else so you can be the household hero, just head to crunchlabs.com or use the link in the video description. Now, as far as my plan to bounce back from my own failure, we did 4 things to really get serious and stack the dice in our favor for the final launch. First of all, we fixed the connection point with more of a sheath design that could handle the bending moment. And then at the right altitude, it would autonomously separate the two halves with a black powder charge. Second, we ran some vacuum and temperature tests on a raw egg. There's no air pressure and it's really, really cold in space. So if you don't do something to protect the egg for the 2 hours it takes the balloon to get up to space, it will freeze and crack the egg every time. So we tested some heaters in our egg chamber and proved that they keep the egg warm enough. Third, we built redundancy into our system. When NASA sends something to Mars, they can't go there to fix it, so it just has to work. And for that reason, a lot of critical systems have backups. Even the part of my own hardware and Curiosity that accepted a dirt sample from the arm into the belly of the rover had 2 doors that opened to the exact same place in case one of the doors ever stopped working. In our case, redundancy meant making a 2-foot wide custom beach ball that we would stuff with a second egg surrounded in packing materials with a 20-foot streamer on the back we would just drop like a rock. It would be dead simple. No parachutes to deploy, no autonomous timing sequences, and no fancy mechanisms. This would be our redundant, yet I would argue kind of boring, second chance opportunity to land a safe egg. And fourth and finally, we went to a local crane yard to test both our solutions at their respective terminal velocities, starting first with the beach ball.
Come on, baby! Oh. She's alive!
And after that, we tested the final landing configuration of the rocket.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! By the way, the actual rover parachute held perfectly. Mwah!
And so after all that, we made the 6-hour trek back to the desert for what I was really, really hoping would be the last time.
Hey guys!
After 4 failed attempts, we had learned so much, which left me feeling cautiously optimistic. And right out of the gate, we got 2 bits of really good news. The first relates to that super delicate zero pressure balloon we had to reuse from the last launch because there was no possible way to get a replacement. Just barely touching the balloon leaves it stressed and creates a weak point for it to tear, so I was obsessively checking the fish scale reading that would give us the verdict.
The force reading is 37.6 kilograms.